Welcome back to this series of sessions on data engineering with Azure. In this session, we are going to see how AutoML works in Azure platform. While we have been discussing with developing models and deploying the models, in real scenario, we have to understand that there are multiple rounds of experiments that need to be done on the model. We have to do substantial amount of hyperparameter tuning and feature engineering before a particular model can be made ready for any use for any enterprise grade. Now, this is a lot of hard work, lot of manual work. Now, most of these platforms today, like Azure or AWS, they have AutoML functionality where uh, you can bypass all of these activities. You can just upload a data set or uh, uh, attach the AutoML uh, environment with a data lake from where it can directly pick up the data. And then it will itself run various models. Okay, you have to, of course, tell what is the objective, like you want to classify the classification kind of a problem, or is there a regression problem. So you have to define that, and you have to provide some basic inputs related to what are the features, what are the targets, and if you want the AutoML feature to look at all the possible sets of models or only a select set of models. So you provide those inputs, and the AutoML job is going to run. It is going to experiment with various types of models. It's going to experiment with by various various feature engineering, do various hyperparameter tuning, and ultimately it is going to come up with the best model with the best fine-tuned model in the sense that it will figure out what is the best hyperparameters and the best features to be used for a particular model, and will say that this is the model that you should go for without you having to bother about all the intricacies of the feature engineering and uh, the model hyperparameter tuning. You can then decide to take this model and deploy it into your production environment. It will also help you to get the explanations about how the model is performing and interpret the model in terms of which parameters have been playing a bigger role in determining the output, etc. Model interpretation is one of the very important things today because of the explainability of the model is becoming more and more crucial. All of these things can be provided by these AutoML features. So we will use this AutoML feature first and see how it works. So go to AutoML and create a new AutoML job. We will use the same diabetes dataset that we have used in the last video to create our own machine learning model. But there we had manually create the model. Here we use AutoML. So we will call, here you can see that if you don't give a job name, it is going to give very funny job names, which is fine. But for now, let me call this as diabetes prediction. That is the AutoML. Yeah. And we'll create a new experiment. Okay. Select the task types. You can see these are the different types of tasks, and this is also expanding. Initially, Azure had only classification and regression problems. Now it has even natural language processing, computer vision, etc. So you have to specify what is the task that you want to do. So we are interested in uh, the classification problem. Since we are having the data in a blob storage, it is showing us the data and allowing us to select the data set. Otherwise, we had to upload this data from our local drive into this blob storage, or we have to connect it to a data lake. Okay, but since we already have the data, we'll just select this data. And it is asking me to select the target column, which is fair. This is what the basic things that we need to provide. But we don't need to provide any other. We are not building any pipeline. We are not selecting any model. We are not doing any hyperparameter tuning. We are not even giving any pre-processing because, for example, we are not even saying that whether there are missing values, what kind of treatment of missing values need to be done, nothing. Okay. So we are only telling that this is your objective. You have to classify the data into uh, whether the outcome is diabetic or non-diabetic, and that's it. Okay. And this is my data set. You decide which kind of model you require, what kind of pre-processing you need to do, etc. Even if I want to use deep learning, I can enable deep learning here, but this is not a case for deep learning, so we'll not use deep learning in this case, but it can. Okay. And there are different validation types. You can have, it can select the validation automatically, or it can use any of these validation type, and you can decide how to do the test data, how to get the test data. Would you provide a separate test data, or would you not? You don't need to use a test data, or you want the same data set to be divided into train test split, like we normally do. So in this case, we want to divide the data into train test split, and we have selected that. And here we have to decide what kind of compute we want. We have a compute instance that is running, and that's what we are going to use. And that's it. Okay. So now we should be able to submit a training job, and this job is an AutoML job. Note that we have not done any pipeline creation, let alone doing any coding. All that we have done is we have created a data set. We have given the data set, you asked what the job task is, and it has, uh, and what is the target, and that's it. Okay. So let's submit the training job. Yes, so it is giving this information. The diabetes prediction spelling is wrong, but that's okay. Prediction AutoML. Uh, okay, the job is there. Go here. So this is a job that is running. And you will see that currently the job is saying that it is setting up the run. Setting up the run means that it is making the preparatory activities for the machine learning models to start running. Once the models start running, what we'll do, you will be able to see the different models that are getting trained. Okay. As it experiments with more and more model, we'll have this entire list of models coming here. So what we'll do, we'll close this video over here. We'll come back after some time in our next video, where by that time, hopefully, this will have already experimented with few models, and it will already show certain number of models coming over here. And once we run it after some more time, it will be able to select the most optimum model among the library of models it has. Okay. So we'll come back in the next video to watch how AutoML has actually worked on this data set.